Hello and welcome to Breathwood. My name is David Yates and I want to say Happy New Year. We survived 2020. I'm excited for 2021 actually because I really feel like I am entering a whole new phase in my didgeridoo playing and practicing. I'm embracing this idea that for mastery to happen, if you break things down to tiny bite-sized pieces and you slow things way down and you take your time, you'll reach a level of mastery much faster than if you rush through things. I've been reading a great book called Effortless Mastery by Kenny Werner, and in it he makes this point that adults have this fear of dying before they ever achieve the thing they want to achieve, and so they rush through things, but then they never or don't often get anywhere anyway. We need to take time, slow down, and make sure that anything we're practicing absorbs into muscle memory so that we can do it automatically. Like when we drive. Think of all the times, if you drive, all the times you've driven somewhere and gone, wait, I don't even remember what just happened. How did I not die? We want playing to be that automatic eventually. So as I contemplate this idea, I'm realizing that we need to start at the foundation. And the foundation of playing starts with posture. I'm not going to talk too much about that today. The main thing there is just to be vertical, not to be hunched over or slumped or have your head tipped way down when you play. Be vertical. The next thing after posture, after your structure, is breathing. And I'm going to come at it from the perspective I've gained through exploring two different breathing tools. So I want to talk about these, and I want to talk a bit about anatomy. Let's start with anatomy. I've probably mistakenly used the wrong words many times in my teaching. And it's understandable. The mechanics of breathing are misunderstood. If you know about the diaphragm, great. That's a great start. If you're confused about the diaphragm, that's okay. I've been there too. But let's start there. The diaphragm runs right across this portion of your torso, right at the bottom of the ribs. When it flexes, in other words, when it's working, it actually moves the ribs apart. So when you take a nice deep breath in, and try that with me now. Deep breath in, and you feel your ribs expand. That's the diaphragm working. Then when you relax, that's the diaphragm letting go. You can also let your belly expand when you breathe in. That's another way to initiate diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, so remember that. When you use the diaphragm, you are breathing in. When you will relax, that's your diaphragm relaxing and your ribs coming back to their neutral position and squeezing the air out of your lungs. But there's more. Follow me here, okay? So take a deep breath in, then relax. Just relax. And you reach kind of a midpoint in your breathing. Now exhale more. All the way out, all the air. Feel the contraction around this area. And then relax again. And feel how the air rushes back in without you even trying. What's going on there is that a different set of muscles is compressing your torso further, more, squeezing out more air, and when you relax those muscles, your ribs are returning to their neutral position. The one thing I'm not sure about there is if your diaphragm plays any part in also returning to a neutral position. The muscles used to squeeze out more air, this way, include your intercostal muscles. Those are between the ribs, between and around the ribs, and your transverse abdominis, which is abs around the sides here. It's what you feel tense up when you cough Or do a quick ha, like martial arts, ha, ha, or laughing, ha, ha, ha. That's what you feel, okay? So those are the muscles we strengthen when we exhale. Relax to inhale. And then when we take a deeper inhale, that's the diaphragm. And then we relax, or use the transverse abdominis and the intercostal muscles to exhale from full to empty. That's where these come into play and have been teaching me a few things. This is an incentive spirometer. It measures air volume. And the incentive part right here has to do with how quickly you inhale. This actually measures the inhale. So if I just do a quick inhale, you should see this bottom piece move up. And then you also see this little piece shoot to the top. This is for people who are in breathing rehabilitation for various reasons. It could be someone with liquid in the lungs, pneumonia, to help them reestablish fuller lung capacity and to move liquid out of their lungs. It's also to help people maintain, I would say, good breathing. That's a poor way of putting it, but good breathing if they're bedridden for a while. And there are other uses beyond that. The first time I did it, I thought, oh yeah, no problem. I can keep the thing in the middle and I'll just get it all the way to the top. But I didn't quite make it the first time. The second time, knowing what was needed, I was able to clear my lungs, relax, and get it all the way to the top. Now, how does that feel? It's quite a high level of control of the diaphragm, because keeping this little thing in the middle requires some real diaphragm control. It's one thing to take a quick breath in. It's another thing to really draw it out, to go that slowly. And then relax. So what this has taught me is that in order to build control of the diaphragm, long, slow breaths are a good idea. I was looking up instructions for using this thing, and what I found online is something like, 10 repetitions every hour. That's for someone in rehab, unless you get dizzy and then back off. So if we take the concept of this, you get into the concepts of breath work that you might see out there, where you take the really long inhale and the long exhale. You might count initially 4 seconds in and 4 seconds out, and eventually work up to something like 10 counts or even 20 counts. So if you want to try it at home, give yourself a goal of 5 or 10 or 20 reps, and try a long breath in and a slow breath out, and count as you go. So it could be, that was 8. That was also 8. So about 8 slow counts for me right now. I'm using pursed lips to slow myself down and to give me a bit of physical feedback to help me feel how quickly I'm breathing. So that's a nice way to do it. Also through the nose, in the nose, and out pursed lips. That's another way to do it. But I find the pursed lips can help slow the inhale. Or you can try one of these things. Now, I was looking this up. This is from my family. It's one they weren't using anymore. I was looking this up on Amazon, and they call this a Expand a Lung Breathing Fitness Exerciser. It's basically a valve up top, which I can open or close by twisting, and then what's basically a mouth guard type apparatus so that it goes in the mouth. If I twist it one way, it's closed and I can't even breathe. And if I turn it the other way completely, it's a little harder. It's harder than pursed lips. Although, you can emulate this with your lips by just closing them. Or doing F. So you can actually reproduce the resistance. But if you want an outside tool to do it, this can do it for you. If you're in Canada, on Amazon, if you buy from Amazon, just to give you basis of comparison, this sells for $60. But anyway, let's see what this teaches me. I have it all the way open right now, and I'm going to take a few inhales and exhales. Okay, there's something right there. When I got to the bottom of my exhale, no air left, and then I went to inhale, I felt something that I've usually just experienced in yoga, which, oh gosh, it's a bandha, it's a lock. It's right here. There's a bit of a pull. If you exhale all the way and feel resistance, either from your lips or from a device like this, you'll start to feel where the diaphragm is actually beginning to work. It wants to pull, it wants to recoil actually back to its neutral position. Answered my own question. So you'll feel it. You'll feel where it is in your body. You'll feel it working. And that's a good thing. We want to build more sensation in the body so we can track what's happening. So this helps with that. So if I go all the way out, I feel the pull, a little more resistance. Yeah, I feel it working. I've only been playing with this for a couple days. I don't actually like biting onto this thing, so I haven't used it much. I might take off the mouth part and just use the next piece by itself, you know, like this shape, more like a didge or a flute. But it's giving me a very clear sense of where my diaphragm is. Then, on the reverse, I'm going to give it a little more tension. I'm going to start from full lungs. I feel my body doing the thing people will do when they're trying to pose, you know, or just show off in the mirror or show off for someone and they kind of clench their abs. It's working the intercostal muscles between the ribs and the transverse abdominis. Those are the muscles you want to strengthen if, for example, you're playing and you want fast bursts of air or longer, you know, more endurance while you're playing. Super important. I've also noticed that as I've been working on these things over the past several weeks, my posture has improved. I've gone from being this way more of the time to feeling this almost spring-like action pulling me up and upright. It's like if you're wearing a corset, the corset keeps that part of your body upright, keeps everything pulled in. If you explore anything related to posture or dealing with low back pain, one of the things you'll come across is the importance of pelvic floor. That's the very bottom of your pelvis. Strength there, holding things in and together, and all of the muscles around your core, transverse abdominis. So if you tone those up, not only will your breathing improve, but your posture will feel more effortless. You'll feel more aligned. So yeah, if that interests you, look that up. Expand a Lung Breathing Fitness Exerciser. I know there are face masks out there that also achieve the same thing. It would be nice to move the resistance from the mouth to the nose as well. So if you have a mask, and many of us have masks these days when we go out, but if you have a mask with a valve, then that will allow you to breathe in the nose, for example, as you would do in Didgeridoo, and out the mouth. So you do that for a while you're out for a walk, or use this however long you can stand it while you're working at the computer or out walking, working out. Take it off, take it out. You'll notice a tremendous sense of ease in your breathing that wasn't there before, because you've been waking up the muscles that you maybe weren't using as much. A lot of people breathe from their upper chests and even the shoulders, opening the rib cage that way up here. And that causes really shallow breathing. You run out of room to breathe almost like at the beginning of the breath up here, versus from low to high in the lungs. So what you could do with this, here's the exercise. Commit to something like once a day for maybe 10 repetitions. Start kind of in the middle in a relaxed position. Inhale using the diaphragm to full capacity. Think of expanding the ribs outward and frontward and backward, starting low and then working high. Then relax. Then exhale the rest of the way out. Then relax to inhale back to starting point, neutral. That's 1 rep. In, filling up and expanding, relax. Exhale, like pushing it the rest of the way out, relax. Neutral, that's 2. And then so on and so forth. Do that 10 times, at least 1 time a day, 10 times. And see what that does for your breathing. Does it change anything? Then go to the didgeridoo and play with that. And instead of breathing all the way in and then playing, start more neutral. I got this insight from a couple of different workshops recently. Lise and Ansgar, of the two, I think, well, they both pointed me in this direction. So thank you to them. But instead of taking such a huge inhale and then start more in the middle, this neutral position we're exploring, and at most, take a little breath and then start. But if you can try this, go neutral when you're relaxed, and then play from there. And play from that lower sense in the body where you're using your muscles in the core to exhale, and then relax to inhale. Some people call that passive breathing. Okay, I've rambled enough. I'll leave you with that. That's going to be the start of our new year playing, and I will be layering more ideas and exercises on top of the breathing very soon. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps. Let me know down below in the comments if you have any questions. If you would like to support what I do, look down below for another link. That's my Patreon webpage, where you can basically sponsor what I do for $2 or $5 a month. And once you hit the 15 level and above, then you get other little perks, like you get to see more of the videos. I do a video a week on average that only patrons see. There's a secret, not so secret anymore, rhythm group on Facebook where we talk about the stuff I share. And beyond that, there's private lesson time every month. So that's Patreon. Click down below for that. Any questions, comments, or suggestions, I'd love to hear. Let me know how this goes for you. Thanks for watching. Happy playing, and see you again soon.